Okay, so a little bit of an update here. Um, the rest of my Switch accoutrements have arrived. Rocking the NES edition hat from Nintendo Rewards. You know me. Um, and yeah, we'll unbox some stuff. So I picked up. Maybe we'll do a little bit of thoughts here on what we think, or what I think rather. I picked up the little wheels. I don't know that I'll ever use these, but I've got some young nephews and nieces who might get some enjoyment out of them, and they're fairly cheap, so I figured I'd grab them. They feel pretty nice. They're teeny tiny, really small. Um, it's like two shoulder buttons on them. There's a blue one and a red one to match the colors of the Joy Cons, and then here we can put a Joy-Con into one and see what it is like. I think they just sort of slide in, so they just kind of. I think these have magnets as well, so they just sort of slide in there. I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so just has the little Joy-Con in it. You press the buttons. I can feel it pressing the buttons on the Joy-Con itself, and then you can still hit the face buttons and everything to do stuff. I think you need to do that in Mario Kart. Not 100% sure. Yeah, I think you would accelerate. You would accelerate probably with one of these face buttons, and then you got your drift and your items. This is a fun way to use the thing. Again, I would never. I don't really use the motion controls in these games, but for kids and stuff, people who like the motion controls, I think it's a fun idea. And they were really cheap. I mean, like $20 for the two. Like that's the right price. If they were much more than that, if they were any more than, or maybe it was $25, but yeah, if they were like 30 or 40, I wouldn't obviously buy those. That's crazy. Um, having said that, I did spend more on these GameCube controller. Now this is what I'm talking about. Played a little bit of Soul Calibur 2 with this thing. Played a little F-Zero GX, which also launched with the Switches 2 GameCube support. I mean, like every one of their reproduction controllers, this thing is awesome. It feels exactly like what I remember my GameCube controller feeling like. They must still have the molds around for these things. But it's crazy because like even the plastic feels identical, you know? And I mean, it was really crazy getting like one of the SNES or one of the N64 repros because that was like it felt exactly the same, and it had been a long time since I had used like a new N64 controller out of the box. This guy not as like earth shattering or mind blowing because they did those reproductions of the GameCube controller for Smash Wii U, and then they did more for Smash Ultimate on the Switch that worked with that like expansion port. You would basically buy like the front of a GameCube that you would USB C into your console or USB A into your console. I've got one of those laying around somewhere. But you could plug four GameCube controllers in and then use those for Smash Ultimate on the Switch or for Smash Wii. I think just Smash Wii U, because the Wii actually had, yeah, come to think of it, the Wii had GameCube controller ports in the top of it under a little pop-up thing. It's like you could pop that up and you have the SD card, and then you would have the GameCube controller ports. So that was pretty tight. That it had that native backwards compatibility. I mean that sort of shit is something you never see anymore. So that was really cool. Um, but yeah, so not as mind blowing to have this, but it does kind of feel like a Wavebird more than a regular GameCube controller, since it's got this kind of fatter butt, and it's wireless. You know, they have some extra buttons here to make it work on the Switch. You've got the original Z button here, L and R. Down here, you've got a home button and a capture button, and you've got the C button, the chat button here, and then also this little tiny button. Can you even see that guy? Yeah, that little teeny tiny button. That one, I think, yeah, that's your ZL. So that's your ZL button, because this was back before it was standard to have bumpers, 2 sets of shoulder buttons. A lot of the older consoles just had your triggers and nothing else, no bumpers. The Z button being up here is actually from the N64. They migrated that. You had the 3 prongs, right? So the N64, you had the side prong with the control pads, you had the R button, then you had this left prong with the D pad and the L button, and then you had your middle prong, which had the control pad, and then had the Z trigger. So with the GameCube, they migrated Z up here, but they didn't put anything here. Kind of funky. Now they did. Anyways, that's that. Next, let's see what we've got. We've got the camera. So this guy, nicely made, as you'd expect from an official Nintendo thing. I heard that they also released a Hori officially licensed Piranha Plant camera, which is apparently total dog shit. Like it's like 480, it's like sub 480p quality, I think. Real piece of shit, apparently. So that's fun. This guy, I want to say, was like $55. But it's nice. It's fairly nicely made. I right now don't really have any friends who have a Switch 2, so not a big use on game chat here. But when that dumb Mario Party comes out with the support for you using the camera and playing it, I'm going to be playing that. And what's interesting about this camera is they've done some stuff on the software side to allow it to really lock on and isolate faces, multiple faces, up to 8 at once, I believe, can be detected by this thing and then displayed in games. So like you could have 4 people, 5 people, 6 people sitting in your living room, and it's going to pick them out and isolate where their face is. It's going to delete the background, and it's going to stick just their face next to their like Mario Party character or over their cart in Mario Kart. And it's got all these little functionalities to do that. Cute idea. Seems fun. Remains to be seen how that like really works in games. But for now, as far as the quality of this camera goes, it's pretty nice. It's got a nice non-slip base. It's got this metal rod here. Got a cable clip for some cable management. Thoughtful Nintendo stuff as always. Then this guy moves up and down depending on where you've got it in your living room. But what's clever is that I don't know how well this is going to play. Hang on, let me get a little closer. So where this connects is actually moving independently. So it allows the cable to be straight and not move when you're actually moving the head of the camera. They didn't really have to do that, but they did, and it's a good quality feature that allows this thing to move up and down. So if you've got it higher up in a bookshelf, you can angle it down to see your living room. If you've got it low down next to your TV sitting on top of your entertainment center like I do, you can angle it up a little bit and catch your whole room very easily. And then they also added a physical privacy shutter. So you can just pop that shut when you're not using it, if it's plugged in, just to be 100% sure you're good privacy-wise. And of course, there's also an LED showing if it's recording or not. So great, good privacy features, quality little camera. I mean, it's just a little USB camera. You can also use any or essentially any USB camera for this thing, and it works just fine. I plugged my webcam into it. It was fine. It worked totally fine. I just have like a Logitech, that one that everyone has. I don't know. It was the cheap one that's like really decent quality. But it worked fine. You can apparently plug your phone in and it'll recognize it as a camera and work just fine too. So if you don't want to drop the $55, you don't have to. I like it. It's nice. It's unobtrusive. It looks totally like it just melds into the background in my entertainment center setup, which is kind of the thing that I was most concerned about when I was buying a camera to sit next to my TV. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way and talked about how these are a little overpriced and I wouldn't buy them if they were more expensive, blah, blah, blah. Okay, as you can see, I have a serious amiibo problem. So I have all the amiibo here. These are insanely priced. Let's get that out of the way right now. They did 2 different rounds of amiibos. 2. We've got some Zelda Tears of the Kingdom amiibos, the like descendants of the champions from Breath of the Wild, and then we've got some Street Fighter 6 amiibos, some of the new characters from Street Fighter 6 from the base game. So quality wise, these look to be as quality as the rest of the amiibos that came out for Breath of the Wild. You've got Tulin here, the Riju guy. I think they're Riju. I think. Wait, no. I don't remember what the bird people are called because this is Riju. That's Riju. Are they Rito? Yeah, maybe it's Rito. Anyways, Riju, the lady from I can't remember anything Zelda right now. What's this desert people called? Gerudo. She's Gerudo. There you go. So yeah, Riju's quite. Get her over my face. Maybe it'll focus on her. Yeah, 2 swords, pretty cool dynamic pose. These things have plastic stands up the wazoo. They did not do a good job with the. I hate the giant pieces of plastic holding the figures steady. Here you got a Zora. This is Prince Sidon. He's a cool dude. It's just not going to focus on this thing at all, is it? Well, anyways. And then you got Yunobo, the Goron guy. This guy, like, wasn't selling at the same time that everything else was. And you had to pre-order him or order him way later than the other ones. These things are not selling. So it's apparently not a problem. Like if you walk into a Target right now, you can find like a fuck ton of these amiibos sitting around. These things are going to be bargain binned in weeks. Like they're just not selling because the prices are insane. Last time they released amiibos for Zelda, they were at the $16.99 price point, I believe. These are $29.99. Now it's June 2025. So if you're watching this in the future, if there is a future, tariffs are a thing right now. But like these are $29.99. It's an insane it's an insane price jump. And then if you're if you're kind of in the know with amiibos, you might know that the non-first party amiibos are always a little bit more expensive. So like when they had made originally amiibos were $12.99. And then a lot of the like other like the third party ones were kind of releasing in like the $14-15 price point. And then they made their first party amiibos $16.99 as kind of the new norm. With some of them like more detailed ones or slightly larger ones being like $20. But so like 17 became the new norm for the regular ones. So then the third party ones were kind of in like that $19 or $20 range. These Street Fighter amiibo are $40 each. So like it's really, really psychotically priced. You know, this is a lot of money for these fucking amiibos. It's crazy. And I mean, I'm a collector. I'm gonna buy them. I'm an idiot. You probably will be able to get these a lot cheaper down the road. I'm sure at least these Street Fighter ones are going to go the way of the Animal Crossing ones and be $2 or $3. But I mean, I have every amiibo except one Japanese only release. Like, I even have Box Boy. So like, I'm not going to be drawing the line at $40 for a Street Fighter amiibo. And to be completely frank, like the chances of me not getting, on the off chance they do get rare and I can't get one, and then I wind up having to pay more than $40, I don't want to go down that route or that rabbit hole. That fucking Mega Yarn Yoshi, he cost enough. Box Boy, he cost enough, okay? This last one I got to import, one of the Monster Hunter ones from Japan. It's like, I'm going to be dropping like $280 at least on that amiibo. I don't want to do it, but I'm just going to buy the amiibos at retail. These are a lot bigger. I will say they are much bigger amiibo. This is Kimberly. She's got like some crazy energy shit going on down there. And then we've got Jamie doing a cool handstand. I saw that you can flip this guy over and then you can like put another amiibo on top of his amiibo portal. That's kind of neat. And then you've got Luke, who is like the new flagship guy in Street Fighter. I don't really think they did his biceps justice because this character design has humongous, like massive biceps and massive triceps. They didn't really do it justice on this figure, but you know, I could probably pop one of these out and we can kind of compare sizing on these guys. Let me, I guess let's bust Luke out and let's compare size on this with like a regular, like a Mario amiibo, just to kind of show. Like, I don't think this justifies it being $40 by any stretch of the imagination. I think there's no justification for that. And I really think that to make if to make it work, it had to be $40. Like, they should have figured something else out. But let's take a look at him versus like Mario. Mario's kind of like a standard guy, you know. Like here, this Mario's like a regular dude. That's like a regular dude amiibo. And then yeah, here's Luke in comparison. So you can see it's a lot bigger, lot larger amiibo. Nice definition on it too. I mean, it's a nice looking amiibo. It's got like some great effects. It looks good, but yeah, he's big. Where here he is in comparison with a GameCube controller. So he's like as big as he's a big guy. You know, he's a big dude. So I mean, at least like for paying more for it, you're getting a little bit larger, a little more plastic going on, a little bit more of an amiibo. But like, for example, the Guardian, which is even bigger than Luke, this guy was like $30, I think, when he released, or like 27 or something. He's a lot bigger, you know. Like that Detective Pikachu amiibo, you can kind of see him down in the corner there. He's gigantic. You can see him towering over all the other amiibos. He was like, I don't know, like $18 or something. Like $40 is a lot for one amiibo. You know, like these are nice figures and they always have been. The functionality in Street Fighter is like garbage. It's like you can save your costume or something. Like, who the fuck cares about that? That's a stupid use. Like, I've long past buying these things for like in-game functionality. I have no illusions that there's any reason to do that. Because like the in-game functionality just has not been good for a long time on these, and it arguably never was good. It's glorified download codes. I buy them because I like the figures and because it would be insane to stop now. They're nice figures, like they are, and I like Nintendo, and I like every one of these characters that they've released. Like, they're releasing them for games that I enjoy. I like Street Fighter. Some of these new characters, not my favorite. Would I prefer to Chun-Li to a Kimberly? Yeah, totally. Would I have preferred E Honda to Jamie? Of course, duh, absolutely, yes, 100%. Please make an E Honda amiibo. But like, I still will buy them because I. Anyways, it's embarrassing. Anyways, all right. Sorry, bronchitis still lingering a little bit. So let's talk a little bit just about how this thing is. So I did buy an SD card express. That 256 gigs fills up real fast. I just bought the official Nintendo one. I couldn't find any others. They're all sold out right now. I'm sure I'll be able to, year or two down the road, probably buy like a 1 terabyte one for a more reasonable price. Right now they're like $220. I don't want to spend that much. I don't want to spend half the price of the console on expanded storage. Like, I'll make do with 512 for now and just kind of go from there, you know. So what have I played on this thing so far? So far I beat Sonic Generations because I'm a moron. That was fun. Started playing some Shadow Generations on it. Pretty cool. Um, Mario Kart is great. They had Okami HD on sale, so I bought that. That was like $10. Um, Mario Kart World, naturally, that's the game that launched with this thing. It's great. It's really fun. Like a lot. Online plays good. Thank God this thing's shipped with an actual Ethernet port standard. Good call on that. Let's not go back to the days of the Switch 1 where you had to use a USB Ethernet adapter and then they would suck ass and you'd have to get a good one, or else, you know, you'd be playing with people with shit ones, and then it's like basically like you could just be playing on like Wi-Fi because your Ethernet adapter sucks ass and you didn't get like an official one. Um, yeah, that sucks. Played a little Xenoblade Chronicles on here. Looks great, you know. I checked out some of the new games here. Let me bop over to. I'm a nerd, and I made a group because you can make like folders in the Switch. So I made a Switch to enhanced folder. I've got most of the games that had enhancements. Um, so I checked out the new Zelda updates. Um, those are awesome. Games running at 60 FPS, 1080, or I think actually 60 FPS, 4K. Looks great. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's like it's a new game. It's how they should have released. Didn't really bop into Clubhouse games or Big Brain Academy. I'm not really sure what the support for that. Like, what could the Switch 2 even be doing with those games? Um, Gotta say, I'm sorry, I didn't bop into ARMS. I don't care about ARMS. Checked out all the Marios; those look good as well. Running at with better frame rates, just faster load times, that sort of stuff. Nothing crazy noticeable there. Not like Zelda and the Pokemon games. The Pokemon games, obviously, like they really needed it. But yeah, this thing feels like a Switch Pro. Like, bigger screen, better quality materials. Uh, Battery life is a little shorter, I think, but I mostly play my Switch docked. And since it's USB-C, I've always got a port nearby. I've always got a cord, so it's no big deal there to charge it when I am using it. Like, I've got USB-C cables threaded through my couch cushions, like to pop up in between, so I can just like reach in and grab it and charge my phone. You know, like, you know, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's easy to grab a USB-C cable. So, you know, to me, it's not that big of a deal. If I'm out and about with it, it's a slightly bigger problem, but just throw the adapter in there. You know, it's not hard to find a charger anywhere. So that's not that big of a deal to me. I don't really care about battery life on consoles. And you're outputting some pretty serious frames. You know, you're running games at like some games at 120 FPS. It, like, yeah, like whatever, right? Your battery is going to be impacted. um but yeah, before I forget, my favorite game so far, I mean, it's like become kind of a meme, but Welcome Tour, Switch Welcome Tour is sick. I love it. Honestly, I really love it. I'm a huge fucking nerd. I'm a tech, like, for tech, and for like, I like to look at the design. I mean, you know, they rambled about this thing forever, for like an hour and a half, right? Just screwing around with the way the console looks, you know, and some of the design decisions, and kind of thinking about that. So Welcome Tour kind of feels like it's made for me. I love the insight into how they designed the console, why they designed the console the way it did. Um, you know, I'm seeing all these videos, like this people online who are like, look, my Switch is screwed up. Look, you can move the controller is like a quarter of an inch and there's a little gap. It's fucked up. It's bad creation or bad quality control. Yeah. And my ass, like the true nerd and shill I am, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, if you had played Welcome Tour, you'd know that that's on purpose. And they built it with a little bit of shear in there to make sure that you don't break off that little connector that everything thought was going to break. And actually, there's a little bit of give inside the console behind that little connector and in the little port it slots into so that all of it moves together, nothing will break. And actually, this little gap is there because of the properties of physics. It means that it's actually harder to detach because it's farther away from the console. Stuff like that, learning that they like consciously made that decision to make it more durable, to make it last longer. It's great. I love that shit. I love getting that insight. I wish it wasn't $10. I really do. But having put 7 hours into the game, like, it's the game I've played most on my Switch 2 so far. I think that's $10 well spent. You know, I feel like I've gotten my $10 worth out of it. I honestly, unironically love the game. I think it's fascinating. It's got a ton of great information. The tech demos are super fun. And the little mini games are actually challenging. Like 3-starring those mini games is tough. Some of them are hard. And it's been a total blast so far. Great showcase of the console. Wish it was free, but I feel like I got my $10 worth out of it. It's actually pretty great. Lastly, I forgot about them because I'm an idiot. Amiibo cards. I'm not going to show all 26 of these things. You'll get the gist really quickly. There's nice little cards. They've done Amiibo cards before. They have done Jesus. They did Animal Crossing cards famously. There's a million of those. There are Mario Sports cards as well. Like you can get all the different Mario characters playing sports. And then and they've also got some other like baseball cards that are unique to Japan. So I'm going to show off, of course, my girl Jury. They're nice looking little cards. They've got the NFC tag in the back. They say Street Fighter, and you can do the same thing, right? You can do the exact same thing that the statues can do. You can you can like save costumes to them. I don't know. I think it's a stupid functionality. There's 22 of these, one for each of the base characters. And did they have the DLC in here? Yeah, it looks like they have the first year of DLC. Rashid, Aki, Ed, and Akuma. I think, yeah, so they just have that first set, I think. It looks like maybe there's like a game you can play with them as well. Yeah, so each of the cards has like a little icon here, it looks like. And then there's a little Fire Emblem weapon triangle where you can like use the cards and be like, my Ryu is blocking, and blocking beats strike, so my Ryu card beats your Luke. I don't know what the rules of their little game are. Does it even have instructions? Nope. Anyways, these were like $40. Fucking hell. What the fuck is wrong with me? Anyways, that's that. With my thoughts on the Switch and the last bit of stuff that was still coming to me. I think that's everything. So I guess thoughts on the Switch. Thoughts on the Switch too, I suppose. Yeah. Overall, very happy so far. Very excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza. I wish it had launched with the console. That's what it feels like it's missing, is like a big single player game I can really sink my teeth into. You know, I'm playing a lot of Mario Kart. It's really fun. My wife and I are having a blast. Playing online too is fun, but I just wish there was like a big single player game. Metroid Prime 4, Donkey Kong, something like that. It's all this console launch was really missing. Thankfully, Switch has a great library. So, sayonara.